Among the consequences of this growing plastic pollution crisis is the issue of waste colonialism. It has been now confirmed that countries in the global north are making the global south their dumping ground by exporting their waste.
And in certain countries like Malaysia, most of this plastic being illegally burning, and it can create hazardous gases that can affect the humans or the populations nearby to the facilities. And also this plastic has been dumped carelessly on land or in the rivers or the oceans. Even though we think that we maybe really recycle our plastic, but we are not really sure whether they're being treated efficiently or not.
Welcome to the Plastics Treaty Shorts on Plastisphere. My name is Anja Krieger. For a long time, we treated disposable plastic and waste as if there was an away, a place where we could safely dispose of our trash. But as we all know, nothing disappears just magically. Each year, the world produces over 2 billion tons of waste, and hundreds of million tons of that are plastic. There is no away, and all this stuff goes somewhere. To landfills, dumps, incinerators, recycling facilities, or into the environment. But our plastic products don't always end up close to where they're used. Waste is traded globally, and especially the hard-to-recycle plastics are shipped to places abroad. Often there's not enough infrastructure to deal with this plastic waste in a safe way. So it is openly dumped, recycled without protecting the workers' health or lost to the environment, with impacts for the local people and ecosystems. Today, I want to share two messages with you. The first by Nirere Sadrach from Uganda, and the second from Sharifa Ismail from Malaysia. Nirere is an activist with End Plastic Pollution, an NGO in Uganda. He calls for plastic pollution to be addressed at a global level, but treated within the borders of each country.
I live in a global south country, which is Uganda, and it is important because the global south we live with the impacts of the plastic and climate crisis every day. Every day, everywhere you can find plastic is discarded in the environment. Uganda's largest landfill, which is on 36 acres, is full, and now more 130 plus acres are being consumed of virgin land, are being consumed of to create a new landfill. Through our brand audits at End Plastic Pollution, we have found brands from Europe and brands from the USA polluting our rivers and lakes. Neither do these companies nor these countries of origin play a role in managing their waste in our communities. So it is very important that we stop the practice of exporting waste from higher income countries to lower income countries, and so that we can address this environmental injustice. It is important that the Global Plastics Treaty ensures that all countries have to be responsible for how they produce, how they manage, and how they dispose their waste. Countries in the Global South cannot even have the scale or the infrastructure, neither do they have the expertise to deal with their own plastic pollution problem. It is unacceptable to make this worse by not stopping waste colonialism.
That's Nirere Sadrach from Uganda. I received another message on the same topic from Sharifa Ismail from Malaysia. Sharifa is currently a lecturer at the University of Putra, and her research focuses on the impacts of plastics on the environment and human health. She wants to see regulations for the global trade with waste in the Plastics Treaty. In her message, she refers to the Basel Convention. The Basel Convention on the Control of Transboundary Movements of Hazardous Waste and their Disposal is an international treaty that's already in existence.
So I guess what the Plastic Treaty needs to cover is a policy on to control the transboundary movement of plastic waste from one country to the other. Although we have these Basel Conventions in the current practice, but perhaps with this plastic treaty, it will be more focusing on the plastics, and it will helps us more, and as what has been experienced in Malaysia, where plastic waste has been imported to our country and it has been classified as a recycled item. But when we found out that it's actually not a recycle, it is a waste that cannot be recycled, and it seemed that we are receiving waste to be dumped in our country, in our land. So this has happened since China banned of receiving waste to be treated in the country. So most of the country are trying to find or searching for places to treat their waste. And then I think another important items or elements that need to be covered is to reduce or to replace the single plastic usage, because this single-use plastic has significantly contribute to the marine litter. And I guess another one is the treaty can control the booming of recycling waste facilities or industry that does not treat the plastic waste appropriately, and it will end up being disposed near to the water sources or even marine and pollute the environment. So I guess that is all I think important that can be highlighted with this plastic treaty.
Thanks, Sharifa and Nirere, for your messages. Global South countries are not only receiving the waste from the North on top of their own. According to a new report by the WWF, the lifetime cost of plastic is 10 times higher for low-income countries than rich ones. This reveals crippling inequities in the plastics value chain, the NGO says. If you'd like to learn more about which role your own country plays in this global shipping and treatment of plastic waste, check out our episode on the Plastic Overshoot Day. Is your country a toxic exporter, a waste sponge, a waste savior, or another archetype? I'll paste the link in the show notes. This was a new episode of the Plastics Treaty short series. It's an interactive format. If you'd like to share a thought with me and the other listeners, send me a voice message. I will pick some of these messages for publication. Please follow the recording instructions on plastisphere.earth. That's it for today. Be well and see you soon.